You got wide receiver Trent Whittemore.
Trent, you just kind of talk about what you experienced tonight. Obviously, it was somewhat of a homecoming for you, giving your Gator a pass, and you were in some new roles tonight, catching punts as well. Just kind of reflect on tonight, what this game meant to you.
Yeah, it was cool to be back in old stomping ground. Place that means a lot to me, but obviously we didn't come out with the result we wanted. As far as the punt returning stuff, just something that I was put into that role, so just accept it and do it. And yeah, disappointing game for us, obviously. We just didn't get it done.
What's not working with this offense right now?
I don't know. I think we've struggled in the red zone a little bit. We're trying to put our finger on that issue. We're going to come together this week and really put emphasis on that as we did last week and try to be better in that area. And we got all our goals in front of us, another rivalry game next week, and we just got to get back in the W column. That's our focus.
Trent, can you talk a little bit about the vibe in the wide receiver room right now coming into the season? So much talent, so much potential, but it kind of seems like it's been dominated kind of by one guy. Can you talk a little bit about like what the vibe is right now?
Yeah, we weren't upset by Kobe's early successes. You're alluding to, he had a couple really good games and kind of what the defense was giving us at the time. We've had some defenses maybe play us a little differently since, and yeah, there's really no time to be frustrated in that type of thing. Obviously, it's human nature, but you just got to move on. We gotta come together as a team and get back in the W column next week.
Trent, you guys last year were 3-2 at this point. You're 3-2 at this point again. Do you feel like this team's better than last year's team?
I do, yeah, and we need an emphasis on not having that type of slide we had last year that put us behind the 8 ball, especially in conference. I know there's a couple undefeated teams in the conference. In conference play, but all around college football, people are getting beat. As you see, I saw some in the SEC today. So that should motivate us to come out and make a push in the conference.
If the team is better, why isn't it showing?
Well, we're only through 5 games, played 12, so.
Is it a distraction when you get into a week and your number 2 receiver decides he doesn't want to play anymore? I mean, I know that's part of the game now with opt-outs and stuff, but is that a distraction as you're preparing for an opponent?
No distraction. X made a decision for his future. I wish him the best. No distraction, though.
Trent, you eliminated turnovers this week, but you guys were unable to find the end zone until the 4th quarter. What needs to change heading into next week?
Yeah, we got to be better in the red zone. Statistically, I'm not sure exactly, but we're not ranked high in the red zone, so we just got to fix that. A lot of times, just execution. I know versus Colorado, we just had some execution issues with plays that were there. That's on the players. When we look back at this film, we'll be able to see what our issue was tonight. But yeah, a lot of it's on the players. We're going to take ownership of that and get it done.
When did you learn that X was opting out? When was it brought in? How much did you work throughout the course of the season on punt return and the preseason build leading up to this game?
Yeah, I've always kind of been like an emergency guy on all teams I've played on since I was even here at Florida. Whenever we learned earlier in the week that was his decision, then I started. I had already been taking some reps, but I started taking all of them.
You came in doing punt returns like we mentioned here earlier. From your perspective, how well did special teams adjust X and now Colton also being hurt? Like, how well did you guys adjust to in this game, in your opinion?
Yeah, got to watch the film, but I think we adjusted decently. I think Grant made 2 field goals, am I right on that? Evan had some nice kickoffs. And then we came after some punts, and I made fair catches. So I think we adjusted pretty well.
And it seems like teams are now stacking the box against you guys, and still kind of no production. Unfortunately, that's the pass ball, still not much production. Like, what could change to make it kind of a little bit better, not so one-sided?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't have that answer right now, but we'll just continue to look to find new ways to spread the ball around. And I know Coach Malzahn and the staff will do a great job of putting us in a position so that it looks different next week.
During the 4th quarter, it didn't seem like you guys had a ton of urgency with about 4 minutes left. Was that something that you guys were cognizant of, or were you moving with pace, we just didn't see it on the game clock?
I mean, sometimes when you have incomplete passes or sacks, it takes away from the ability to pace, which I think happened to us a couple times. So to be urgent, you have to move the ball down the field as well. So I think a couple times we stopped our own momentum, and when it's 3rd and long, you've got to have a good play call. You can't just like chicken with your head cut off, come back and snap the ball. So I think we killed ourselves kind of in that regard.
Coming off 2 tough losses, how would you characterize the team right now? What's that locker room like?
It's still a determined locker room. I'll use that word. But it's in sports, talk is meaningless. We just got to go win games. So a lot can be said about locker room and this and that, but we just got to put result on the field.
What was different this week? Because a lot of what you're saying sounds like what we heard last week.
What was different in
Yeah,
what regard?
What changed? What changed from last week's mistakes that you played, moved forward with?
I
this
mean,
week?
we didn't turn the ball over. Like I said, I got to watch film, but I can't give you a direct answer on that.
Trent, the term
Last one.
predictable has kind of been used for like the express this offense. Would you say that's like a fair term to use? Kind of like you could kind of see what's coming beforehand, and kind of people have adjusted to the scheme on tape.
Yeah, maybe. I think a lot of offenses are predictable. It's just, does your predictable play produce? And in certain games this year it has, certain games it hasn't. So as far as being predictable, I think everybody's predictable in a certain way. A lot of it just goes back to execution.
All right, thanks, Trent.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.